Ambush in Santa Monica, a city under fire. On a sunny afternoon near the famous Third Street Promenade in Santa Monica, California, what began as a regular patrol quickly turned into chaos. A newly sworn-in police officer was ambushed and shot in broad daylight. But this wasn't an isolated incident. The same suspect had already been involved in another violent crime just days earlier, one involving a self-driving Waymo car and two teenagers. This is the unfolding of one man's violent spree and how an entire city came together to stop him. 3 days earlier, the first incident. It all began on Sunday, June 22nd, 2025. Late that night, around 2nd Street and Broadway, a Waymo self-driving taxi cruised quietly through the streets. Inside were two teenagers on their way home. They had no idea someone was following them. Earlier in the evening, the two had gotten into an argument with a man. At the time, it seemed like just a heated exchange. They didn't realize how far it would go. Just before midnight, gunshots echoed through the area. The Waymo taxi was attacked. One teen was shot in the arm, the other more seriously in the torso. Both survived, but the nature of the attack shocked the city. Police believed it was targeted, not a random act of violence. The shooter fled the scene, and a manhunt was launched immediately. 3 days later, the ambush fast forward to Wednesday, June 25th, 2025. Around 1 p.m., Officer Ramirez was patrolling near Santa Monica Place Mall. New to the job, he was still learning the beat. That day, he spotted someone who looked familiar, someone he had seen in a wanted bulletin connected to the Waymo shooting. Officer Ramirez approached, identified himself, and that's when it happened. The man ran. Suddenly, without warning, he turned and opened fire. Officer Ramirez was hit. The bullet didn't take his life, but it changed the day for Santa Monica. Massive police response. Immediately after the ambush, downtown Santa Monica was locked down. Police flooded the area. Helicopters circled above. Streets were blocked off. For 3 tense hours, the suspect remained at large. Then a break. A resident near Palisades Park called in a tip. Someone matching the suspect's description was seen in the
I'm
area.
right in the middle of this, and yeah, it was terrifying. I didn't see them tackle the guy, but suddenly they were on top of the guy.
At 4:20 p.m., the suspect was located and arrested without incident. A handgun was recovered, the same weapon believed to have been used in both the Waymo shooting and the officer ambush. Even then, police withheld his identity, but they confirmed they were almost certain it was the same person involved in both incidents. A pattern of violence. Santa Monica's police chief spoke to the public, confirming what many feared. This wasn't random. There was a pattern, a timeline, a buildup. And the suspect? He was known to police. A young man, early 20s, believed to have used an illegal firearm, possibly tied to other small incidents around the Los Angeles area. Investigators began digging into his past, looking through his social media, past altercations, and any other behavior that might show a motive or history of violence. The Waymo twist, one disturbing detail stood out. The location of the first shooting, a Waymo taxi, a driverless car loaded with surveillance cameras and sensors. The shooter didn't seem to care. Experts say the car captured everything, multiple angles of the shooter and the moment of the attack.
It was pretty peaceful, and then like 17 cop cars just ran all the way over here, all different branches. And when I got over here, it sounded like they'd already gotten him, or the same guy that they were looking for earlier.
Some people, police chasing another individual, They was chasing a guy, and the guy went through to the parking construction right there.
We heard a whole bunch of bangs. I thought it was fireworks. My coworkers thought it was gunshots. They were right. I'd say within
in the Santa Monica community. This comes less than a year after another Santa Monica officer was stabbed while on duty. That officer is still recovering. It's a painful reminder that law enforcement in the city is increasingly under attack. Public response and political pressure city leaders quickly addressed the situation. At a press conference held at City Hall, Mayor Lana Negrete praised the police response and emphasized how lucky the city was to have captured the suspect before more harm was done. She said plainly, "We caught him. He's off our streets." But that didn't stop the fear spreading through the community. Tourists, parents, and business owners wondered, If this could happen in broad daylight, right in the heart of Santa Monica, what could be next? The investigation deepens. Back at police headquarters, detectives wasted no time. Their mission was clear: build the case fast. They analyze every piece of available evidence: crime scene footage, security cameras, ballistics. One critical discovery linked the two crimes. The shell casings from the Waymo shooting matched the ones found near Santa Monica Place Mall. Same weapon, same shooter. Surveillance footage from businesses revealed that the suspect had been hanging around the mall area the day before the shooting. This wasn't spontaneous. He had watched. He had waited. He had planned. Who is the suspect? Even though his name hasn't been released to the public, here's what we know. He's a young man, early 20s. He's previously known to law enforcement. He likely used an unregistered or stolen firearm. He may be connected to other low-level crimes in Los Angeles. Police are still trying to determine a clear motive. Was this about revenge, a gang-related conflict, or something more erratic and unpredictable? Some believe the argument with the teens was the spark, but the cold planning of the officer ambush hints at something deeper. Community questions. Now that the city is beginning to breathe again, questions remain. How did a known offender get his hands on a gun? Why did he escalate from an argument to a shooting? What was his plan after shooting the officer? And how close did Santa Monica come to a far greater tragedy? The attack inside a self-driving car and a broad daylight ambush on law enforcement point to a disturbing trend. Violence is evolving, and tech doesn't guarantee safety. Santa Monica's reckoning. In just 3 days, 2 teenagers were shot. A rookie officer was ambushed. A suspect left a trail of fear across one of California's safest cities. But because of fast police action, clear-headed investigation, and help from local residents, he's now off the streets. The recovery continues for the victims, the department, and the city itself. And now Santa Monica is asking, are we prepared for this new era of violence? Can technology help protect us? Or are we just easier to find? And most of all, how do we stop something like this from happening again? If you found this story meaningful, subscribe for more true crime investigations that dig deep into real events and real lives.